This is what the real world looks like. This is what my home looks like. A scared, poorly trained, poorly led ICE agent with no uniform and no badge breaks down a door with no warrant. I see one thing: an armed intruder.
Just the visual alone. Chef's kiss, credit to you. They're not entitled to defend themselves. They're not entitled to shoot first, ask questions later to defend themselves and their family. It seems that the NRA and the right-wing media industrial complex have been conspicuously silent on this matter. You can help build the only independent news outlet, always on the ground with the people, for as low as 16 cents a day.
Corporate media, they've been lying to us for years, and you're going straight to the people.
Flint, Michigan, Washington, D.C.
Brooklyn, New York.
Government sending one more you to the residents of Chicago.
We need as many independent voices as possible, and that's why what you guys do is so fucking important.
Covering what the corporate media covers up. Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup. Well, those good-hearted, tree-hugging liberals are fed up, and they're turning the tables on rock-ribbed, God-fearing, gun-toting, don't tread on me, MAGA Republicans. Let me be more specific. Obviously, you've seen the nightmare playing out all across the country at airports, which is happening largely because Trump and his Republican sycophants refuse to demand ICE agents take off the mask, show your faces, and refuse to follow the Fourth Amendment, which mandates you need a judicial warrant to enter a private home. Well, now liberals are starting to say, if ICE agents keep illegally invading homes, we're going to shoot first at your head. Let me show you this from activist and attorney Robert Held. Quite the video.
After my last post, some speculated that a liberal like me doesn't own a gun. You can speculate all you want, but I'll tell you one thing. Fuck around and find out. An ICE agent busts down a front door without a judicial warrant, that ICE agent is going to get shot at point blank range. But that's exactly the scenario that Mark Wayne Mullen, the DHS secretary and replacement for Kristi Noem, invites when he says that ICE agents can chase someone into a private home without stopping at the Fourth Amendment. For years, some have preached from my cold, dead hands and sold the idea that an armed citizen is the only defense, the last defense against an armed government that wants to come into a private home. This is what the real world looks like. This is what my home looks like. A scared, poorly trained, poorly led ICE agent with no uniform and no badge breaks down a door with no warrant. I see one thing: an armed intruder.
Just the visual alone. Chef's kiss, credit to you. And more on Robert in a minute. Let's just dig into the irony here. Forever, my entire political life that I've been paying attention and reporting, you have had your NRA, right-wing media industrial complex hyperventilating that they need to arm themselves with a long cabinet of bazooka guns so that when Barack Obama and his army come to steal their guns, they could defend themselves. Well, that obviously never happened and was never going to happen. But now you actually have real scenarios where paramilitary government forces are breaking down doors, not just of immigrants or undocumented immigrants, but in many cases, they've done this to U.S. citizens, and they're not entitled to defend themselves. They're not entitled to shoot first, ask questions later to defend themselves and their family. It seems that the NRA and the right-wing media industrial complex have been conspicuously silent on this matter of ICE, Border Patrol, and Trump stormtroopers blatantly violating the Constitution and essentially breaking in and threatening the lives of Minnesotans, Chicagoans, and people all across the country who have no idea who these people are breaking through their door. Could be ICE, could be kidnappers. Very interesting that all this Second Amendment obsession and fetish seems to stop when it's Trump's troops. I want to show you also this man who showed this video, and he's not the first, who has basically said, fuck around and find out, of the liberals now turning the tables. You've also had people in the LGBTQ community doing this. Obviously, the Black Panthers for decades have said we need to arm up to defend ourselves from paramilitary troops, the cops. But Robert Held specifically, he actually made history because he caused an ICE agent, first that I know of, to actually be charged for attacking him. Let me show you this video. This is from our Michelle Dow, who interviewed Robert, because he was actually attacked by an ICE agent, and therefore that ICE agent was charged.
You would swear in front of my face and bait my. I don't know who he is or what he's doing. What he could have on there. Who the fuck you are? It's very impressive coming
It's a male-like person.
You threw him on the
He's
field.
approximately
Yes, I can. If I'm on the. Yes, I can.
This guy's alleging you tossed him on the ground.
Yeah, I was trying to grab his phone out of his hand.
This is the first incident that we were able to identify under the second Trump administration where an ICE agent was criminally charged for battery. Federal officer Adam Sirocco was charged for assaulting Chicago attorney and Air Force veteran Robert Held for filming him at a gas station.
He said, I'm a federal agent. He's filming me while I'm trying to pump my gas. Walking around on the side over here. I said, what are you doing? Why are you filming me? I tried to grab his phone. I want to get the picture and I wanted to delete it.
So Robert Held, who's arming up and saying, fuck around and find out to ICE, he also went against an ICE agent who attacked him. And by the way, that ICE agent attacked him for him legally filming him pumping his gas, not a crime. And fortunately, in the rare case, an ICE agent was actually charged a misdemeanor, but at least something. And we're hoping that post-Trump, there is a long, long list of trials, charges, and convictions against ICE, Border Patrol, and the long list of Trump's army, both in the White House and outside the White House, that have blatantly violated the law and the Constitution. But it's not just the fact that liberals are saying fuck around and find out. You now have Trump on Trump crime. Let me repeat, Trump on Trump crime, where Trump's Department of Justice is throwing ICE under the bus. This is truly unbelievable, where now the Trump Department of Justice has filed in court that ICE abducting people at courthouses, immigration courthouses all around the country for the last year, yeah, that was illegal. That's Trump's Department of Justice admitting this in court. First, let me show you, because we've been covering these abductions at courthouses around the country for a year. Let me show you just one example that our John Farina covered on the ground at New York Federal Plaza last year.
What's your name? No. This is Bagno. Get up. This is Bagno. No, not. Here, he's coming too.
You don't have to respond to questions. You have the right to remain silent.
Get the jacket.
I'm an attorney.
Trying to get out of your way.
You do not have to confirm your identity.
Back up.
You don't have to give any identification. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to respond to any questions. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to counsel.
So that was just one. I mean, there's been so many other instances. They've attacked politicians who were there to observe ICE. They attacked a pregnant woman that we captured. Truly, truly unhinged. You're talking mafioso thug level behavior here. But what's truly incredible now, over a year into this, you have Trump's Department of Justice saying, oopsies, we were told the wrong thing by ICE. You just cannot make this stuff up. Let me read this to you from ABC. Justice Department this week conceded to a federal judge in New York it had been incorrectly citing an Immigration and Customs Enforcement memo to partially justify arrests at Immigration Courthouse, calling the oversight a, quote, material mistaken statement of fact. Justice Department lawyers disclosed in a letter on Tuesday that a May 2025 ICE memo applies to most courthouses, but not federal immigration courts, where agents have been seen over the past year making arrests or those attending their hearings. The government attorneys told U.S. District Judge Kevin Castle that they erroneously cited the memo in months-long litigation challenging the courthouse arrest because of, quote, a regrettable error by a, quote, agency attorney, presumably at ICE. Quote, we deeply regret this error has come to light at this stage after the parties have expended significant resources and time. Let me read to you specifically from this insane memo. We write respectfully and regretfully to correct a material mistaken statement of fact that the government made to the court and plaintiffs. Specifically, this morning, the counsel from ICE informed the undersigned of the following. The memorandum titled Civil Immigration Enforcement Actions in or Near Courthouses, dated May 27th, which the government relied on in presenting its arguments in this case and referred to as 2025 ICE guidance, does not and has never applied to civil immigration enforcement actions in or near executive office for immigration review. Attached to this letter is an email memorandum dated March 19th, yada, yada, yada. In light of the fact that the 2025 ICE guidance does not apply to immigration court arrests, the government withdraws those portions of its briefs. So are we now going to retroactively go back, count up all the immigrants, many of whom were actually here legally seeking asylum or naturalized citizens or had some temporary legal status? Are we going to go back now, find all of those we illegally abducted and deported and bring them back? Or are we just going to leave it at an oopsies? I mean, the illegal criminal spree of this administration, the list is so long. In some ways, it's just human nature. You kind of just become numb to it. This is going to take years to unravel and untangle this mess. And the terror that has been inflicted on people who were following the law, they were showing up to their court hearings and then basically being entrapped and kidnapped and deported. This is terrorism. And this is what we would call it if it was happening in other countries, specifically third world countries that we like to push out propaganda about. But I got to tell you, as the election season heats up, as Trump's own deputy attorney general is now talking about, yeah, it's fine to have ICE at the polls. We'll have more on that in a different video. I think you're going to see more liberals arming up, not just, tree hugging, kind-hearted liberals. We're talking, people arming up in somewhat paramilitaries. You're talking people saying, yeah, we'll show up to polling places. If ICE is going to be there, we'll show up with guns. Black Panthers, other groups. This has a potential of becoming significantly violent. And at the end of the day, if armed thugs, paramilitary troops who have already killed U.S. citizens, not just Renee Good and Alex Prede, don't forget Keith Porter in L.A., and don't forget the 23-year-old who was killed in Texas that they covered up for a year, ICE's involvement. If all of this is going to continue, you're going to have people defending themselves, including liberals.